This reminds me of old school Disney-style storytelling. You're a Tron baby. I'm a Thing baby. Do you think it's better than The Matrix?
On this episode, the Nerd House reviews Tron Legacy.
You had never seen this before, and I have seen
Never.
this movie several times.
I enjoyed it. Like, I didn't really have a lot of preconceived ideas going into it. Didn't know really what it was about. But yeah, I liked it.
I love this movie, and the more I watch it, the more I enjoy it.
I can see that.
And part of that is because the more you watch it, as I said last night, the more things you pick up on the world, and it helps you understand the world better. It helps you understand the characters better. At times, there's a lot visually going on,
Yeah.
and the more you watch it, the more you're able to kind of isolate those elements and see them. This movie gets a lot of hate, and it is disliked by many people. I don't think it performed that well at the box office, and I think that is very unfortunate.
Wow.
I think the film seems very simple. It is very visually complex, but it's a very simple story. And I think people went into it wanting something more epic and more dramatic and more of a significant film, I guess you would say.
I can get that. I mean, like, this came out in 2010, and so we weren't in, like, the middle of the Marvel heyday where every movie was epic.
Right.
And you weren't in the 90s summer blockbusters.
Right.
So you kind of are in the middle land, I guess.
Right. You're after the Transformers era.
Movie middle wasteland. I don't know what you want to call it. But I think this is a case of simple done well.
Yeah, exactly. I like that.
Because a simple story told well can be great.
Right.
And I think that's how this is. Like I said, now I'm not saying this was earth-shattering,
This is not a
life-changing
life-changing movie, no.
but it was a good movie,
Right.
a good, solid movie. Has a good story, a good plot. You know, the characters are pretty good. Visually, it's fun. So, I mean, it's just, it's a good movie.
Right. And I said this to the group last night.
Yeah, so what you don't know is that we usually watch these at a friend's house.
He has an amazing theater.
And we end up talking about these with the people in attendance.
Right.
And then we come home, recap this for
That-
you guys, our listeners.
That
all
doesn't
12 of you
always happen. Sometimes we watch these films at home on our larger screen TV, but when we
talk
get the
about-
chance.
And when we said this last night to the group, that's what we're
right.
talking about.
Yes. And so I said this last night. This reminds me of old school Disney-style storytelling,
Yeah.
which means it's a good story, the heroes win, the day is saved, and you went on a fun journey to get there.
Yeah.
Kind of like Sword in the Stone, kind of like Race to Witch Mountain. These stories that I grew up with, and there's more. I'm just throwing these off the top of my head. But this just reminds me of those kind of stories where I don't go into a film expecting to cry a lot or expecting to have
it didn't break my
extreme
heart like
highs and
Bluey did the
lows.
other night.
Yeah, this isn't Bluey. Anyway, that's another story. But
Next podcast.
no, I don't know.
Nerd House takes on Bluey.
I don't know. If, maybe.
The world's not ready.
But anyway, this is just a simple story. And it's, as I said, this story is simple in its narrative, but it has elements of classic storytelling. So you have the princess or the damsel in distress, the princess who needs to be saved. You have the kingdom that needs to be saved. You have the world that needs to be saved. And you have, in the midst of it, which is the part that I really think is the underpinnings of the story, is a son who has to redeem the father. And in the end of the film, the father ends up having to redeem the son.
Yeah.
And I really like those elements because, as we discussed last night, you have the father who gets engrossed in this world, and he's creating this miraculous, paradise of a new reality, and he ends up spending all the time there, getting obsessed, becoming obsessed with it, and he ends up eventually being pulled into that world, and it costs him his son, right?
Right.
And so what happens? The son has to enter the father's world, enter the realm of the father, and redeem the father from the paradise that he has created that has become a trap for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, before we get into our favorite moments, like just some overall things about the movie is, I will say, I do feel like not ever seeing the original from the 80s, not knowing a ton about this coming into it. When you first get into this movie, I did feel slightly lost at the beginning.
Right.
And one of our other friends kind of said the same thing. He was like, I needed to know more about this world and Tron before we go into it. And I think that
would have helped.
It would have. I don't think that it's not so much that it kills the vibe, because they do a good job of kind of filling you in as you go along. But I can see where if you knew about what Tron was and that you would have just kind of been able to get into it a little faster. But I don't think it kills the movie. It doesn't necessarily take away from it like some movies we have watched do. But you do feel like you're kind of starting in behind a little bit.
And they tried to establish a little bit of what the world was at the very beginning with Kevin and Sam, and he's the dad and the son. And
storytelling.
He's trying to explain it. The problem is, even that you're kind of thrown into.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you're like, oh, he just explained the world. I kind of missed some things. And then, boom, you jump X number of years later. Back to what I was saying. You have classic elements of storytelling, and they're familiar tropes, elements of stories, wrapped in a world that at the time was kind of looking forward to kind of more the virtual reality that we're in now.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, here we are 15 years from the time this movie came out, and a lot of what they're talking about is reality now. Right. And I do love there's kind of like a little throwaway line when Sam and his dad, towards the end of the movie, are talking, and Sam is telling him what the world's like. And he says something about Wi-Fi. And he's like, I thought about that in 85.
Yeah.
That kind of made me chuckle a little. I thought that was funny.
And I will say, I love that. So the dad has kind of become almost like this guru of the world that he's in.
The dad is a tech genius
right.
who is wanting to find a way to chase it, in my opinion. Okay, again, we've established that I did not grow up a video game nerd. I mean,
yes,
the most I played was Wordtress, and if you don't know what Wordtress is, look it up. It's fun stuff. But I did not grow up playing video games. It was just not a big part of my life. And what I see is a dad who is chasing that high that he got from these arcade games, because in the 80s they were arcade games. They were not home games. Yes. And he's coming into that everybody has a computer digital era, and that's what he's chasing. He's chasing, how do I get that perfected world that I can escape to for those few minutes? Because he's lost his wife and he's definitely grieving. I think that's part of his motivation. So he's like, how to
become his obsession.
Yeah, how do I get that perfect world I get to escape to to be more than just my few minutes of playing said game?
Yeah, and he believes that if he can take elements that he's discovered in this
perfect
world and bring them into our world, he can hopefully revolutionize our own reality.
Yeah.
Right?
But, like we talked about, it becomes an obsession.
Right.
He ends up losing the thing he has left. You know, he ends up losing his son and his relationship with his son.
Right. And you have that line that he would trade it all for one more day with his son.
Yeah. And then you have this poor boy, 12-year-old boy who's this multi-billion-dollar, well, at that time, $1 million company is left in his feet. He wants nothing to do with it because it took his father. Right. So he just becomes this angry young man who acts out in all kinds of ways because he doesn't know anything better. I mean,
all he knows is this is what took my dad from me.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk a lot about redemptive arcs in the story because there's several of them. But one, I don't know if you kind of picked up on at the very beginning, is you were telling me that the guy who played Scarecrow in the Batman Begins series, he's in this movie as a web developer. Yeah. And in the original series, you said his his character in this movie is the son of a character in the first movie who kind of.
I think so. That wasn't what I said.
Okay,
That was
one of our
friends
our smarter friends that we watched the movie with, I think, said that he was the son of a character who in the first movie kind of screws over Sam's dad and steals his ideas, his tech. And so now he's working for the company, and he's going to release this new version.
Right, yeah.
And it's supposed to be the biggest, best, most secure web version ever.
Version 12.
Yeah, and Sam basically steals it and releases it. I mean, he can't steal it because he's the majority owner of the company, so he owns it, but he releases it to the public for free. And I feel like that's almost kind of a little tinge of a, hey, your dad stole my dad's tech, so guess what I'm doing to your tech kind of thing. And so, I kind of think that was almost like a little, this is for dad kind of kick. I don't know if you picked up on that or not. But.
Well, his dad wanted to give it to the world. And I think
didn't want to make all the money out of it.
He wasn't just concerned about the profits. He was concerned about how could this help everyone around him. So I do want to talk briefly about the world of Tron. Number one, it's visually stunning. It's just an eye-pleasing film. And it's interesting because I know a lot of this was green screen and CGI, but it doesn't make me CGI sick, like watching an Avatar or something like that. And I think that's because while it is completely computer generated, it's not as overwhelming. There's a lot of black spaces with lights, and so those empty spaces aren't filled with confusing kaleidoscope of images. We discussed this on the way home last night, and I think it's so interesting. Kevin Flynn creates Clue and Tron, and the interesting thing about Clue is that Clue is created to bring order to the chaos and make the world of Tron perfect.
Yeah, Clue was basically meant to be him when he couldn't be in there to keep working.
Right. But
you said Clue.
Yes. Yeah, Clue is the one who's the villain in the story.
Yeah, but it's basically supposed to be his brain that keeps working while he's not able to be in there.
And what's interesting is the only reason why he's a villain is because he is created to bring about perfection. And so everything that he sees as a flaw, he destroys.
Right.
And it's such an interesting idea because you would think someone who wants to bring order from chaos would be a hero. But this shows the extreme of that, which is you can go so far in bringing order from chaos that you become a villain.
Yeah. I think that's one of the ways, yeah.
Right. It's just very interesting because he's created to do the very thing that his job. And it reminded me of Zod from Man of Steel. He's a villain because he is created.
He does his job too well.
He does his job too well. Yeah, exactly. Another really good movie. So
Tron is just, he's a warrior. Like he's created to be the protector of what they call programs or the individuals in there, the intellectual properties that are in there.
Right.
And he is created to be the law and order, basically.
Right. And so, spoiler alert, this movie's 15 years old. I'm sorry if you haven't seen it. But what Clue wants to do, what Clue wants to do is build an army and bring the world of Tron into our world, into our realm, by passing through the portal that Sam came through. And he's built an army. And what's so interesting, and I didn't pick up on it until this past viewing, is that Clue cannot create things. He can only rebuild them.
Yeah.
And so he has been destroying the individual programs in the story.
Well, he's not been destroying them. Like in the beginning when Sam first gets there, you have the little army that comes.
Right.
And they look and he doesn't have the disc. And they say he doesn't have a disc. So they take him back to the thing and they go through, and that's when they choose, like, you either go for reprogramming or you go into the games.
Right.
And so it's not that he's purposely seeking out something just to destroy it or repurpose it. I mean, he's finding these little things, like you said, that have gone rogue.
Finding the rogue elements.
Yeah, whether it's they've lost it, whether it's they, in Sam's case, never had one yet. Whatever the reason is they don't have one, and he's saying, okay, you're going one or two ways.
Right.
And so Sam ends up going into the games, which they all seem to fear.
Because they don't want to be, because the games end up destroying you,
Right.
basically. And
Yeah.
that's what no one wants.
Yeah. I mean, because basically it's the Hunger Games before Hunger Games.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
the Coliseum.
It's the Coliseum. It's what we see in Thor and
Right.
and Hulk. You know, is you battle till you win or you die.
Yeah.
So Sam gets chosen for the games. He's battling. He beats a pretty hefty competitor right off.
At least maybe one or two.
And then he kind of competes, and some of them are just kind of happenstance where
Yeah.
he gets lucky and kind of wins.
Yes, and I will say, I think maybe that part bugs me the most. I get that he can do the motorcycle thing, but him beating the first two guys was kind of like, he was just dropped
Well,
in
in the
here.
first game, the first guy I kind of liked because he's trying to figure it out.
Right.
And so when the guy accidentally breaks one of the panels and
He sees
Sam
how it
almost
works.
falls, he's like, "Oh,
This is how
Okay.
it goes. Okay.
because you're getting the fact that Sam is quick on his feet.
Yes.
I think they're building that part.
I get that. I just,
Yeah.
like, I don't, even if he was really great, I don't see him winning the first battle he's in as he's dropped in the middle of this world.
Well,
he's
that's what I'm
never-
saying. I think it's happenstance.
Yeah,
It's
I
and I think
understand.
that's what you're saying.
I'm not saying it pulls me out of the film.
Yeah.
I do. I just
You
I'm
have the
watching
things that pull you.
Yeah, I watch it and I'm like, not sure.
So,
that
but anyway,
that's how
he
it works.
ends up against the master
right,
person.
the one he has a toy of on his shelf. Do you remember him saying that?
He doesn't know that it's him yet, though. Does
Oh
he?
no! Remember he goes up against Clue,
No, he goes up
And
against
then-
Tron.
Tron.
Tron's the last one who
Right.
cuts him, and that's when he says he cuts his shoulder, and he sees that
User.
it's bleed. He
It
bleeds.
says user.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
and that's when they
That
know
was
he's
Tron.
different. Yeah,
Yeah, because Clue was watching.
right.
Right.
And so that's when they first take him up
Right.
there, and he thinks he's seeing his dad.
Right.
But he's
Yeah.
not. But anyway, we digress. So anyway, he ends up going against. We don't know who it is at this point. I forget
Isn't
what they
it-
called him. They
Isn't
don't
it
call him.
Clue on the bikes?
No, before the bikes, when they're still in the fight.
Okay.
The last guy he faces,
Uh-huh.
the really is Tron. You just don't know it's Tron.
Okay. Yeah. No,
It's
I
whatever
know,
they're
yes,
calling
yes,
him.
I got that. I understand where you are.
Yes. So he gets cut. He sees that he bleeds.
Yes, I
so
get
he's
you.
like, this guy's not a
He's
program.
a user.
Yeah. So that's when they take him up
Yes.
there. He meets Clue
Meets
for the
Clue,
first
thinks
time.
it's his dad.
Right. And he's like, what'd you do with my dad? And he's like, the same thing I'm going to do to you.
Right.
And that's when they get into the bike fight.
Which was a very fun part of the film.
Yeah, I enjoy the bikes. Like I liked the little light trails that come out behind them that end up being basically like glass walls.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of a neat thing. I had never seen that before. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's been done, since then. But I kind of like it. I think it's
Right.
neat. It makes a lot more sense to me than just running around and having bike wars. I thought
Yeah.
it was a lot better. So.
Yeah, and I like too that he's trying. He is quick on his feet, and he figures out we've got to work together in order to do this.
Yeah.
And we don't have time to go through.
He's
the whole
given
film.
a little team.
Yeah.
He's like, hey,
But
the only way we
then
can do this is work together. So
When he's about
yeah.
to lose, he gets rescued by Cora. Cora takes him to his actual father, and
off grid.
and the film unfolds.
Right.
That's when you start to develop the story of the film. What did you think about the relationship between Sam and his dad?
When he first finds his dad again, and he's like, "We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here." I didn't understand why Dad wasn't just like, "Absolutely, let's go."
Yeah, he's
like,
a little aloof.
yeah, like he's almost gotten too comfortable
Right.
in the world, and you're like, "This is your opportunity. This is your chance." And so I didn't really understand at that point. I think I kind of get it better now that I've seen the final.
Yeah.
But I wanted something great. I mean, like, when we spend more than a day or two away from Josh, like, the only thing I can think about when I get home is hugs. Like, I just want to hug him, you
You
know?
mean Jay Slick?
Whatever our kid's name is.
Right.
His pod name. But yeah, all I want to do is
Right.
hug him because, I've missed him.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, they hug, but then he's also like,
Yeah. Well, I think Dad loves the fact that he's seeing his son, but also realizes that Clue is up to something.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's pulled his son in, and he's concerned about that. And I think that the relationship of the father and the son unfolds and develops as the film goes on.
Yes, I agree.
And he opens up to his son
I agree.
and all that. I want to talk briefly about Cora. I love her character, and the reason you're introduced to her because she's got these old books, and I find it funny that when when Clue's team comes in, they don't know how to open a book, and so if you looked at it, one of the guys like holding it like a laptop because they just don't understand how this works. But she's reading.
Where do those come from, by the way?
I don't know. Maybe he created them somehow in the Matrix of Tron. Anyway, so she's reading Mysterious Island, which is Jules Verne, which is an adventure tale. And she mentions that Kevin is teaching her the art of self-sacrifice and removing herself from the scenario or something like that. Anyway, self-sacrifice. And you get to see her try that in several different instances and then, succeed, turns herself in as a distraction to get other, the Sam and the father free. But I like that she's not a girl boss, which means she has weaknesses. She's tough. She's a fighter, but she can be wounded and hurt. She's growing in her understanding of the father-son relationship, and she's curious, and she wants to know more about the world in which Sam is from. And, spoiler alert, you learn that she is the last ISO that came to Flynn that Clue wants to destroy. She gets wounded, and the dad has to reprogram her, and, it's this revolutionary tech that he's hoping that will help the world as they try to bring these elements into our world.
No, I liked her character. I did kind of like the wide-eyed innocence of her in some of her aspects, but in some other aspects, she's tough as nails. And so I kind of like that juxtaposition that you see. And I like that while being loyal to the dad, she also wants to help Sam. She sends him to see the...
Well, she's developing feelings for him.
But I like her character. So Sam decides he's got to get out of there.
I think that she sees that Kevin is maybe stuck in this philosophical chess match and needs a rogue element to snap him out of it. And that's why she helps the son. I think that's why she does that. And I like that. Because, yes, she's loyal to him, but she sees in that loyalty that he may be blind and incapable of making the next move, right? And that's when they go to the club and you have that, that scene, which is just awesome. I love that part of the movie because it's just so fun.
It is fun.
It is. And I was worried about you watching it because I was like, is she just going to think this is so weird and what is it? Overstimulating and just chaos. Let's just jump to favorite parts of the film. What's your favorite part?
I think my favorite part of the film is the ending. I really like the way that they have to get out. I like the way that you see Sam grow up too in this. I'd say the last 30 minutes were spectacular.
Yeah. And I'll say the first time I watched it, I thought I was underwhelmed by the end, but the more I watch it, the more I enjoy the end.
Yeah, it's one of the rare movies, I say these days because I just watched it, but I come out of this movie and I'm like, I'd watch the next one. I want to know more.
Right.
I want
more of this. Yes.
Yeah, I want to see what Sam's going to do with the company. I want to see him bring the arcade back. I want to see how Cora adapts to our world. I know that's not what we're getting in the sequel. Or the third
Jared Leto.
the third part that's coming out, and so I'm a little disappointed at that because I feel like there was such potential.
Right. So I like the narratives tropes, as I mentioned, and I'll just say it again, they're the little elements that make this story memorable and just a fun movie just to watch. Like I said earlier, there's the damsel in distress, there's the castle that needs to be saved, there's the dragon that needs to be defeated, there's the key that must be found to unlock, the mystery box and save the world. So I love all those little elements, but I think I love the moments when they're on the train heading towards the portal, I guess you would say. And I love the ending. I'll focus on this part where Sam and Cora are talking. Cora wants to know what a sunrise looks like. And Sam says, I've never tried to describe it. Yeah. I've never had to. And he ends up just saying, it's beautiful. And so I love that idea, because how do you describe something that is indescribable in its beauty? And all she does is smile and just absorb the little bit she can get. And then the payoff at the end of the movie is she gets to see a sunrise. And you see her almost like with the eyes of a child beholding something that she had only dreamed of or read about in books.
Yeah.
She had seen a copy of what the reality is. And I love that payoff, because it's a reminder to me, don't get lost in the copies. Look for the beauty.
Yeah.
Look for the real. And it's just that I love that moment. One last thing I want to discuss, which is something else I really like, and it's also something that we mentioned that's in The Matrix, is the idea that can you have beauty without imperfection, right? So Clue wants to create perfection, but he does, in that perfection, he doesn't allow the chaos of disorder, any disorder, the free radicals. And that's a battle between him and Kevin, is that he likes the free elements that pop up and the flowers that bloom in the garden that aren't necessarily supposed to be there. Whereas you have Clue, he has to destroy them. And so it's this bittersweet idea that blooms at the end, where Cora is pulled into the world of the imperfect, but she's able to finally see beauty.
Right.
And I love that idea. It's like we discussed with The Matrix. The original Matrix was designed without flaw or imperfection.
And they rejected
and it
it.
was rejected, right? And I think it's because, well, biblically, we live in a cursed world. But what if we're created this side of heaven for the challenge, for the uphill battle, right? For saving the damsel in distress, for traveling to Monstro to redeem our father from the pit. What if we're designed for that? Because that's who God is, right? He has saved us from the clutches of sin and death. And what if we are micro versions of that, where let's see what beautiful threads can come out of this nightmarish darkness. And it's a nightmare. But in the nightmare, there's something beautiful that comes out of it. Something in this story reminds me of the moment in the director's cut of Lord of the Rings, which is the only version you should watch. And that is, it's in the books also. Do you remember when Sam and Frodo are climbing near the end? They're climbing, they're getting close to the volcano, Mount Doom. And it's cloudy, it's dreary, it's dismal, it's miserable. But then they stop to get a breath, and Sam looks up, and there's a break in the clouds, and he sees stars. And he says, "Look, Mr. Frodo, look at the stars. They're untouched by the darkness." And it's a reminder that while we are in the midst of imperfection, we're in the midst of the dreary and the misery, that we should look for those places that are untouched by the darkness as an anchor to the soul that can help pull us towards what we are created for, which is those who make beautiful things out of the terrible and the dark.
Yeah.
And that's who we are, right? I mean, our scriptures say that in the beginning, God spoke light into darkness. Maybe in a way that's who we are supposed to be.
We are.
Right?
We're image bearers.
Yeah,
You're
as
supposed
image
to be
bearers.
light into darkness.
All right, so last thoughts on Tron Legacy. We have to rate it. So
And we can't have kittens.
we can't have
We
kittens.
can't have kittens. This
So-
is tough because, like,
5 kittens
Yeah.
is near perfect. 4 kittens is a really good film. 3 kittens is middle of the road. 2 kittens is meh. 1 kitten is probably not going to watch this again, and
yeah.
then you get
Then
a
we
litter
got the litter
box.
box that nobody wants to clean.
I know, and I'm just going to go ahead and say that I can't leave this as a middle of the road film.
I agree.
I think it has to be a 4 kitten film.
That's where I'm leaning because it is a really good movie.
Right.
It's simple storytelling told well, visually pleasing.
Right.
and it's better than Saturday afternoon
Yes.
movie. So I'm with you. I think we got to give it 4 kittens.
I have to ask you this, though.
Okay.
Do you think it's better than The Matrix?
It's different in a way. Now I can.
They're 10 years apart.
They're 10 years apart. I can definitely see some influences in the
Right.
fighting scenes.
Yes.
When they were fighting with the disc, totally pick up on Matrix, like elements on that.
Right.
And it kind of the same premise of going on grid. So I can definitely see that too. I think it's a better movie because visually it was a little more pleasing to me. I don't know that the story is as complex.
That's where I'm going to land. Right.
As the Matrix. So, I mean, like storytelling Matrix would kind of come up a little bit.
Right.
But
So,
overall, I think I enjoyed it more than the Matrix.
I think for the philosophy of The Matrix and the ideas for its time, The Matrix is a better movie for its ideas.
I think if I would have saw the Matrix in the 90s when it was done,
Right.
it would have been better.
Yes.
But I didn't.
But I think this is a better...
This one holds up better as far as like visually.
Well, it's not just that, but I like the story elements in this slightly... I like the story elements in this movie more than The Matrix. I like The Matrix for its philosophy, which propels the story.
And from what
This-
I haven't
I like-
seen the next. I've only seen the first Matrix. But from what I've seen from you, I feel like
There's more
Matrix
character development.
maybe does a better world building.
Yes.
And so, like, I will,
Yes.
you know, when we get to the next movie,
Right.
I think that it does a better job in there.
Yes.
I think there's too much space between these movies because now there's been another 15 years
Right.
and we're going to have another.
Unfortunately, though, I think this is going to...
They say it's going to be a soft reboot, not a sequel.
But I think you're going to have to see this as a standalone movie.
yeah.
Tron, I don't think you're going to be able to fit this Tron film.
Which is sad.
It is a
I
sequel.
wanted to see.
Yeah.
I wanted to see a sequel to that movie.
Right. Yeah. But this is like they did the first Matrix, and then 30 years later they did the second, and then 15 years later they did the third, and it's just
I guess in 7 years we'll get the fourth.
Right.
Oh my gosh, it's actually older than I am.
Wow. By just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, but it's older than I
Yeah.
am.
Crazy. You're a Tron baby.
I'm trying.
I'm a Thing baby.
You're a Thing baby.
Yeah.
Now, Thing's a good movie.
Oh, we need to do that. It's a podcast.
Thing's a good movie.
All right, so
we're digressing.
We're giving Tron Legacy 4 kittens. Oh my gosh! And I have
Is this
to
the
say,
first 4 kittens that we've
it
done?
may be. It may
Oh.
be. Did we give them? We
I didn't give
them.
The Matrix 4 kittens.
No. I hate to say this, but I think I like this movie more than The Matrix. Like this is, hey, you want to watch this movie? Heck yeah!
I think this is our first 4 kittens.
All right, awesome.
Way to go, Tron.
That's right. You want to make out?
Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications.